President Buhari condemns attack on Benue State Governor as Inspector General of Police orders thorough investigation into the attack. "2021 World Water Day, attention shifts to children to be part of the campaign against water wastages."
We need to learn to conserve water. Even if we can't conserve for ourselves, we should conserve for friends and families.
Plus, Federal Road Safety Corps wants Nigerians to alert the Corps when faced with any form of distress on the road. We begin the news with security matters. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the gun attack on the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, saying that the string of brutal attacks on individuals and communities in the state, with the latest one targeting the governor, are unacceptable. In a statement, the president welcomes the dispatch of a high-level team of crack investigators to the state and urged the police to uncover who or whatsoever is behind the attacks and bring them to justice. In expressing his sympathies and that of the government of the Federation to Governor Otom, the government and people of the state, President Muhammadu Buhari urged that this unfortunate incident must not be politicized. He further reiterated that an attack on one Nigerian is an attack on all Nigerians. The president directed the police to undertake a thorough investigation into the incident involving the governor and into all such incidents affecting individuals and communities in the state. Similarly, the Nigeria Police Force has ordered full-scale investigations into the circumstances surrounding the reported attempted attack on the life of the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, at his farm in the outskirts of Makurdi. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has directed the Commissioner of Police, Benue State Command, to take adequate measures to strengthen security in the state as well as carry out thorough investigations into the incident. In the same vein, the Nigerian Governors Forum has described as barbaric and brutal the attempts on the life of Benue State Governor Samuel Otom and his convoy. The forum, while sympathizing with the governor and people of Benue State, pledged solidarity and commitment to uncover the prosecute perpetrators of the heinous act. And again, the Northern States Governors Forum has condemned in totality the attack on the convoy of Governor Samuel Otom, describing it as a disturbing development which must be investigated thoroughly. Chairman of the Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bako Lalong, in a statement said the attack on Governor Otom was yet another daring attempt by criminals to cause mayhem not only in Benue State but in the nation as a whole. While praising the security details of the governor for repelling the attack and securing the governor and members of his entourage, Lalong said relevant security agencies must carry out detailed investigation to fish out those behind the attack and their sponsors. Lalong said that Northern governors stand in solidarity with their colleague and the entire people of Benue State, assuring that they will continue to engage and support security agencies in their duty of securing the region and the nation at large. The All Progressives Congress has condemned the attack on the convoy of the Benue State Governor, Samuel Otom. Senator John James Apanu Dwedehehe, National Secretary, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the All Progressives Congress, in a statement expressed confidence that the security services will do everything to unravel the criminals behind the attack and bring them to book. The APC reiterates that Nigerians must all collaborate to end criminality in all forms and see crime as a crime, which should not be politicized. Similarly, the PDP Governors Forum has condemned Saturday's attack on the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom. A statement from the chairman of the forum and governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, says disputes must be resolved amicably without resort to violence. It enjoins security agencies and other authorities of state to investigate the attack and bring the perpetrators to justice. The Inter-Party Advisory Council has similarly condemned in strong terms the attack on the Benue State Governor, Samuel Otom. Chairman of the council, Dr. Leonard Nzenwa, describes the attack as despicable, urging security agents to search, arrest, and bring them to justice, the perpetrators of the dastardly act. The Inter-Party Advisory Council has condemned the violence that erupted during the Ekiti East Constituency 1 by-election, in which 3 persons were killed on Saturday. A statement from the council chairman, Dr. Leonard Nzenwa, says no politician's election is worth the blood of fellow compatriots. It urges political parties, their candidates and supporters to respect the sanctity of the ballot box and the people's right to choose their representatives. The Center for Democracy and Development, CDD West Africa, has called for the enactment of Electoral Offences Commission and speedy prosecution of the people responsible for the killing of 3 voters at Ekiti State Assembly by-election on Saturday, March 20, 2021. The center, in a statement, noted that despite the peace accord signed by the political actors participating in the election on March 17, 2021, criminal elements have again undermined the smooth conduct of the election. This latest attempt to subvert the will of the electorate undermines the assurance that votes would count. It stated that as the people prepare for the off-cycle polls in Anambra 2021, Ekiti and Osun 2022, the National Assembly must take the opportunity of the Constitution and electoral amendment process to enact the Electoral Offences Commission. With this, the Commission will be responsible for investigating and diligently prosecuting all acts of electoral violence and other related matters. As the nation prepares for the 2023 general elections, the Center challenged INEC to be ready to take the decisive step of banning any political party and or candidates involved in electoral violence. As part of efforts to ameliorate the unprecedented level of insecurity in some communities, Niger State House of Assembly and people of goodwill are advocating the amendment of Act that established a vigilante to enable them bear arms. This was the consensus of a public hearing organized by the state legislators to tackle crimes and criminalities to stimulate sustainable growth and development. Musa Mekal reports.
Vigilante Group as a security outfit are mostly composed of volunteers operating under the mandate of communal consensus to fight crimes. This group of people have been living up to expectations in steaming waves of criminal tendencies and banditry in Niger State, as attested to by Governor Abubakar Sani Bello.
We're not going to disband vigilantes because even when banditry stops, eventually the vigilantes will remain to maintain some kind of security within the community.
But we believe that there should be a legal backing to it, so that the vigilante will have an unfettered access, to firearms.
It was against this background that stakeholders comprising of heads of various security outfits, law reform commissions, members of the Nigerian Bar Association, and other civil society organizations at a public hearing put together by the state legislature are seeking for the amendment of Vigilante Act Law 2012 to grant power to volunteers to bear arms.
It is against the backdrop that the Niger State House of Assembly referred the following proposed bill for amendment.
We want to appreciate your concerns and the concerns of the state government in assisting the police to realize her dream of community policing.
Anything that should be done within the ambit of the law.
This is with particular emphasis on structural organization, enumeration, and compensation for family members in the case of death. They maintain that the recent rising trend of violence has made synergy between the formal police and the vigilante group imperative to effectively tackle the menace. In Mina, Musa Mikael, NTA News.
The news at 10 is reaching you live on the network service of the NTA on NTA News 24. More news after this timeout. Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Now, still staying with the security, acting on the directives of President Muhammadu Buhari to the Nigerian military to end the insecurity bedeviling the country, the General Officer commanding 1 Mechanized Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Danjuma Hamisu Ali Kefi, has visited Jigawa State to solicit for the support of government and people of the state to enable them meet the presidential target. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that while in the state, the GOC meets with government officials and the Emir of Duse, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi.
While briefing Jigawa State Governor on his mission to the state, the GOC Major General Danjuma Hamisu Ali Kefi says, in compliance to the presidential directive, it became imperative for him to go round all the army formations and units under his jurisdiction to boost the morale of the officers and men of the Nigerian Army to carry out the directive of the president effectively. That, he added, can only be achieved with the support of the governments and people of the states under the care of the 1st Mechanized Division, which he heads.
We are putting measures in place and ensure that there are no untoward activities or things that will destabilize the state and the people itself.
Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar, represented by his deputy Mala Umar Namadi, assured the GOC of his administration support to help all the security agencies in the fight against insecurity in the country.
We are lucky that we are safe, but that does not mean we should relax.
Though Jigawa is relatively peaceful, its closeness to Yobe and Katsina states calls for the consciousness of the security agencies, as the current onslaught against the criminal elements may force them to seek for the safe haven. While at the palace of the Emir of Dutse, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, they both agreed to work together in taking proactive measures to nip in the bud issues of insecurity. Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Suspects alleged to have been responsible for the kidnap of the auxiliary bishop of Owerri Catholic Archdiocese, Bishop Moses Chukwe, have been arrested by officers of the Imo State Police Command. The Commissioner of Police, Nasiru Muhammad, made this known while parading suspects in Owerri. Lorita Arinze Gwim has details.
The kidnap of the auxiliary bishop of Catholic Diocese of Owerri, Bishop Moses Chukwe, and his driver in December last year caused a major upset in Imo State, resulting in a hunt for the perpetrators. The arrest of the alleged suspects is therefore one of the major breakthroughs of the Imo State Police Command. Other suspects alleged to have engaged in crimes, including attempted arson and kidnapping, were also paraded.
That day that we kidnapped the bishop, I was holding a pump action. So Emperor was holding an AK-47. Would demand 10 million naira.
From the bishop?
Yes.
10 million.
The bishop did not pay any money.
According to the police public relations officer, Imo State Command, Oladi Koku, who spoke on behalf of the State Commissioner of Police, one of the suspected kidnappers was making arrangements to kidnap his employer, the principal of the school where he worked as a security guard, before luck ran out on him.
The command did not rest on its oars as the Commissioner of Police, CP Nasiru Mohammed, put all tactical teams on their toes and ensured that those men that were responsible for the kidnap of the bishop and other people, and those men that has ensured that Imolites cannot rest, are arrested and brought to book.
While the Imo State Police Command reassures of its commitment to safety of lives and property, they are appealing to the public to report suspected criminal activities around them promptly. In Owerri, Lorita Arinze-Egwim, NTA News.
Away from security to safety now, the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Boboye Oyemi has called on the motoring public to be courageous and alert the Corps whenever abnormality is noticed on their journey. He stated this after receiving a distress call from a passenger who noticed the dangerous way a public bus driver she boarded was driving along Kiakiama, Ogiri, and Ogun State at about 13:35 hours, and a reckless drunk driver was arrested and vehicle impounded. In a statement, Corps Commander Boboye Oyemi explains that road safety is a collective responsibility and everybody's business. As such, all road users must play their role to ensure their own safety and that of other road users. Upon arrest and impoundment of the vehicle, the driver was subjected to back tests and the result was 0.18%, which is extremely higher than the 0.05% permissible by road traffic regulations. He commended the courage of the passenger, adding that the FRSC toll-free numbers 122 and that the number is also available 247 for emergency and prompt rescue services. As efforts continue on water sustainability for all, part of activities to mark the 2021 World Water Day shifts attention to how children can be part of the campaign to ending water wastages, courtesy of Ministry of Water Resources and Nigerian Institution of Water Engineers. Oluseyi Adebo covers the last lap of the competition and filed in this report.
Water is used around the world. It is used for recreation purposes in schools.
From 120 students, the school children have been broken down to 9, 3 students per team to form 3 groups in the final stage. The computer-based assignment will see each team prepare an audio-visual clip with features on the importance of water management, the danger in wasting water, suggest solutions to water challenges, and also advanced technology to preventing water scarcity.
But now water is finite because it's getting scarce. Only 3% of the world's water is fresh water.
Asking questions from these students reveal the concept of catching them young.
Children should try to be influencers, create awareness, tell people that we need water.
We need to learn to conserve water. Even if we can't conserve for ourselves, we should conserve for friends and families.
And in United Nations statistics, 2.2 billion people are living without safe water globally. The World Water Day therefore creates a platform for awareness on changing the narrative, and organizers of this computer-based competition explain how children can be part of the drive.
Let them begin to know from the young age that water needs to be valued and water is priceless, so that by the time they grow, they now can be part and parcel of that system.
A child needs to know how to manage, reuse water. So valuing water is a theme that is apt at this present dispensation, especially with this COVID-19.
The 2021 World Water Day is with the theme Valuing Water, and as usual, the day focuses on improving lives of human and ecosystem through the use of water resources. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
And in other news, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, Alumni Association of Nigeria, has pledged a renewed commitment towards the socio-economic development of the country, with a focus on the rural communities. Kenneth Nanim reports that the commitment to give back to the society was the take-home for members at an event to mark the 2020 JICA Day.
Established in Nigeria in 1977, the Japan International Cooperation Agency has been in partnership with the Nigerian government on human capital development programs. In the 2020 fiscal year, JICA Alumni Association of Nigeria rolled out a series of programs for the benefit of Nigerians, especially for the rural dwellers. Though some of the activities were somehow disrupted by COVID-19 pandemic, the association is out to celebrate and evaluate performance as JICA 2020 fiscal year winds down.
We had workshops in the agricultural sector, we had workshops in the educational sector, we had workshops in the health sector. If we use any yardstick of measurement, for example, the attendance and the impact, I think we're successful.
Teachers have been taken to Japan and they have built their capacity in order to strengthen that mathematics and science education in Nigeria.
We are committed to continuing to provide these training opportunities and believe Nigeria could realize its full potential with such kind of cooperation.
Aliyu Bello and Obiyo Chukwuma are scholars under the African Business Education Initiative. They could not travel to Japan for their programs due to coronavirus pandemic, but have been participating online.
It has indeed been refreshing the sheer amount of literature and research that the Japanese have undertaken on tropical medicine and healthcare policy for developing countries.
Other direct beneficiaries of JICA-assisted programs who shared their experiences commended the mutual cooperation and efforts of both countries towards industrial and manpower development. JICA 2020 fiscal year is expected to end on the 31st of this month. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
A group of maritime stakeholders is calling on the federal government to intervene in the prompt deployment of the floating dry dock, as the facility acquired by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, 3 years ago, is rusting away. They are of the opinion that prompt action on the floating dock could generate millions of jobs. Michael Olale reports.
In 2018, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, acquired the floating dry dock not only to enhance the infrastructural drive of the maritime sector, but to solve the challenges faced by indigenous ship owners and operators in complying with the requirements to dry dock their vessels.
The floating dock, we agreed with NPA MD that by the end of July, we should be able to move that floating dock and put it into use. And that will generate...
Michael Olale's story there. Now, Lagos State government has finalized modalities to complement infrastructure at the free trade zones with a green rail line and an airport in Epe, axis of the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu made this known after a two-day tour of facilities at the free trade zones in Lekki. Musa Toliat reports.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said the layout for construction of an airport has already been done, while the ongoing feasibility study required for investment in green rail line is being given priority as contained in the master plan for the free trade zones. He hinted that a public-private partnership arrangement has also been concluded for the rehabilitation of an ancillary road infrastructure covering several kilometers from Lekki-Ekpe Expressway to the free trade zone areas in the next 2 months.
What we're doing from Eleko Junction into Ekpe, which is a 6-lane highway, right? Part of our conversation is to also be able to dualize the route from Eleko up until all of them here.
The two-day tour of facilities at the free trade zones include visits to the multi-billion-dollar private sector-driven world's largest single refinery investment, petrochemical projects, and the world's second-largest fertilizer facility.
We will work with the government and actually even do more than their own expectations. And I can assure you this place will be the hub of industrialization in the country going forward.
We also believe that it's going to also become a game changer in a way that we have not witnessed before.
Governor Sanwo-Olu stressed that no efforts will be spared to create and sustain enabling environment for businesses to thrive across the states. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
You are still on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll pause here for break. Stay with us.
NTA, you can't beat the reach.
NTA News. When the news breaks, we mend it and present it without blemish. NTA News, authentic and authoritative.
I never get this kind of thing, or I hear it.
Somebody called me that there is a form that people are filling. I should go and fill.
Then I went there, she gave me one, I filled the form.
We are 3 in number, they working together. We got form from federal government.
After 2 weeks, I received a lot of 30,000 naira from federal government.
I used the 30,000 naira to buy so many things like equipment.
The money really helped me. The next week, I went to market. I increased my business.
I thank my president who got touched to give us this such amount. I say, may God bless him.
I really thank the government, the federal government, more especially President Muhammad Buhari, because he's the one that signed the money. I am very, very grateful for them.
This is the network service of the NTA.
purpose in life should be to help one another. But if one can't help anyone, at least don't hurt them. African writers have dwelt on so many issues bordering on the need for man to remain his brother's keeper, especially in our continent, as they say, charity begins at home. This is African Literature on the NTA, Africa's largest television network, and I am Nene Basi, welcoming you on another exciting edition. Protecting and preserving human existence is non-negotiable. Therefore, caregivers in our society play the role of ensuring that human lives are preserved through the technological advancements available to us in the world of science.
Prior to the discovery of modern medicine, life had been a fleeting motion for all of mankind. The environment was replete with unseen dangers in the form of diseases and unexplained medical conditions. With the passage of time and advanced technology, medical practice changed into an organized profession, and people experienced a significant improvement in the quality of their lives. Medicine therefore bridged the gap between science and human health. Indeed, the application of scientific knowledge to human health is a crucial aspect of clinical practice. Medical practitioners are one important agent through which scientific understanding is expressed. Doctors play a significant role in our lives. The absolute first and last event of a human are both certified by doctors in maternity hospitals and morgue. A doctor is a person with an extensive knowledge in the domain of medical science who applies and dedicates his knowledge to identify the medical problems faced by the patient and then uses his skills to prevent or cure it. Hippocrates and Imhotep are some of the most ancient doctors in the world who contributed a lot towards mankind. Shushruta was the first surgeon in the world who lived around 800 BC. All of these men belong to different era and background. However, their dedication and passion for saving lives and mending them are what makes them stand together. Their contribution to human health is beyond comparison, and the rich culture of the medicinal world is still in its glory, especially in this era of COVID-19 pandemic. Health professionals play a central and critical role in improving access and quality healthcare for the population. They provide essential services that promote health, prevent diseases, and deliver healthcare services to individuals, families, and communities based on the primary health care approach. Modern medical technology coupled with a doctor's care can give patients diagnosed with terminal illnesses the hope for living longer. Today, when there is an outbreak of epidemic or pandemic, information provided by doctors can help curtail them. Doctors check the spread of such diseases by creating awareness amongst the masses. They do so by alerting them about bad hygiene and risky behaviors that can lead to such ailments. Besides this, doctors also work alongside researchers to find new cures and run tests on consenting patients in order to come up with the perfect medical concoctions.
On this episode, we'll beam our searchlights on the wanton waste of life. Wole Soyinka, one of Africa's prolific writers, in his work, Madmen and Specialists, captures all these thoughts and many more. Stay with us.
Flesh and blood are sacred, therefore let's embrace the sacredness of existence, treasure life and love one another from the heart. Caregivers in our society, whether doctors, nurses, alternative medicine healers, and many more, are expected to preserve and nurture human life through their knowledge of modern and traditional science. Wole Soyinka's preoccupation with the carnage of war informed his writing of Madmen and Specialists, a play considers Nigeria's disability study and the need to stop the wanton waste of human lives.
I think Wole Soyinka was preoccupied with the problem of war, the carnage from war, because in the play you have references made to flesh eating, which is cannibalism, and the actual eating of flesh, so described in such a way that the reader gets disgusted. But when we encounter the characters in the text, we are told that they have lost that sense of self-disgust. It's a post-war drama because it was published after the Civil War that took place between 1967 and 1970. And when you go through some reviews, they tell you it's about the Nigerian Civil War, it's about the Congo War. Someone even said you could even draw some, analogies about Vietnam or other war-ridden countries. With the word mad, most of the characters, oscillate between lunacy and sanity. But I think they are more mad than sane. And I find it gratifying to note that it's actually the men in the drama that are mad. And I believe that was why you had the title Mad Men and Specialists. But at another level, whether male or female, it's generic man. We are all mad in a way because the carnage, the murder, the killing, the conflict that we see, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world, tells us that just as we have madmen, there are specialists expected to cure them. But what do we have in the play? The specialist, Dr. Bero, goes to war as a member of the medical corps in a convalescence home. And what did he do? He made a U-turn and joined the intelligence gathering outfit. In fact, he wasn't referred to as a medical specialist, but an intelligence specialist. And his father got angry and told that same line, followed him to war. The father taught him how to eat human flesh, either as, victims of war or just outright murder, but they feasted on human flesh. And in fact, a character in the play talks about the favorite part of the body that he likes to eat. You see, it disgusts the reader, but then how disgusted are we about the wanton waste of human lives? So Soyinka must have, tried to draw the attention of the reader and the audience to that indisputable fact that life is sacred.
Themes like sacrifice, search for truth, the environment, womanhood, parasitism in human race, among others, are examined in the play.
Looking at the text again, we see the emphasis on the earth. The earth will always take its own. And whatever you take from the earth, you are supposed to give back or replenish it. And two very significant characters in the play tell us these aspects, Iyagba and Iyamate. Iyamate is more on the quiet side, but Iyagba, from her name, grandmother, big mother, okay, is the one who confronts Dr. Beru towards the end of the play to tell him that the earth, as it revolves, ages, but then whatever you take from the earth, you give it back. And whatever you give back to the earth, it uses to replenish itself. Therefore, what should we give to the earth? Is it human blood? What should we sacrifice? The theme of sacrifice is also very important in the play.
Characters in the text are portrayed as victims of war.
They are referred to as mendicants in the play. You have Afa, Goyi, the cripple, and the blind man. These are victims of the different harsh circumstances in which they found or still find themselves. For example, Afa was a chaplain. How did his ordeal start? The spasms that he suffers from. In fact, the play tells us he's a victim of St. Vitus. And St. Vitus is like epilepsy. It's a psychological or neurological order that makes the victim to double up. And I tried to Google it, and it has something to do with chorea, that's dance, movement, and then you have the blind man who became blind because his eyes were bombed in war. And you have the cripple who cannot really do much for himself in terms of mobility. And then the Goyi is the one who doesn't have legs, okay? He is also immobile to some extent. And so the text is considered Nigeria's classic example of debility studies, okay? That is the study of infirmity, the study of sickness, the study of those who are ill psychologically or even from environmental factors.
The play is replete with ironical and satiric scenes which playwright utilized to further expand the plot of the drama.
Ironically, the incarceration of the old man is a style that raises the curiosity of the reader. Very early in the play, you want to see the old man. You want to know where he's kept. And ironically, it's an enclosed or confined space, the clinic of, Dr. Beru. And when the reader's curiosity is satisfied, we see that indeed Dr. Beru is one of the madmen, even though his father, the old man, could be seen as a madman too. But the chief lunatic in the text is Dr. Beru, who almost strangles his father. And what do we have to say to that? It means that total breakdown of humanity, that total breakdown of reason. And even as the characters in the play search for truth, they search for truth as a style, as a theme, or as a major concern of the dramatist or the reader.
The style and language of the play are specialized and actions happening in high speed, full of suspense, leaving the reader in a reflective mood.
Language is a style that Soyinka uses. There are Latinate words, there are medical words from medical registers, and of course, you have, ellipses. He uses a lot of ellipses, especially when they talk about the ideology as, or they sing about the visit of the First Lady. The reader or the audience, even though finds some of these styles, comical, they are deep to the extent that the style is, utilized to further extend the plot, so that when you encounter the characters as they sing, or they speak and they don't complete their words, or they keep the reader or the audience guessing about the meaning of some words or some context. I think it's a device that makes the reader to think. Any reader of Soyinka's plays has to think. You are always asking yourself, what is he talking about? What does he mean? What am I supposed to adduce this particular meaning to? Does it refer to me? Does it have to do with my role in the society? How am I supposed to contribute to what he is saying? And of course, his use of satire.
He is a dramatist whose works are timeless, that remains relevant to generations unborn.
Wole Soyinka is a multi-faceted dramatist, okay? Whichever way you want to look at it, his works reflect different aspects of life, from political to social to economic. The fact that he is able to weave history, weave local or global history into patterns for people to see. Issues of ritual, issues of sacrifice, issues of patriotism in the different genres of literature tells me that he is one writer whose works are going to make more contributions as events unfold. Reading Mad Men and Specialists 20 years ago didn't evoke the meaning that I get from it now. And so in this COVID-19 season, you want to look at how a dramatist 30, 40 years from when a situation occurred is able to project into the future. It's like a time series, And for me, that stands him in good stead. His works are evergreen and they cannot be considered to be dated, because as national issues arise, you note that, something like that or reference to that was made in a poem, a play, a novel, an essay by Wole Soyinka. He's a relevant writer, he's a committed dramatist, and one that continues to add value to the world of dramatic creativity.
Wole Soyinka is indeed a committed dramatist one that will continue to add value to the world of dramatic creativity. Art composition will come up shortly.
Madmen and Specialists, a play by Wole Soyinka, conceived in 1970 during his imprisonment in the Nigerian Civil War. It is his 8th play which has a close link to the theatre of the absurd. Madmen and Specialists is considered Soyinka's most pessimistic play, dealing with man's inhumanity and pervasive corruption in structures of power. The plot concerns Dr. Barrow, a corrupt specialist who imprisons and torments his physician father. Barrow and his father have lost their moral compass, but other community members in the play offer hope that society can still heal. Akinwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka, known as Wole Soyinka, is a playwright, a poet, a dramatist, an essayist, and a Nobel Prize winner in literature. He is the first in sub-Saharan Africa to be honored in that category. Born on the 13th of July 1934, he studied at the University of Leeds, University of London, University of Johannesburg, University of Ibadan, and the Abeokuta Grammar School. Themes highlighted in the play include pleurisy, environment, womanhood, war, sacrifice, human parts merchandise. His other works include Kongi Harvest, a dance of the forest, The Strong Breed, a play of giants, The Lion and the Jewel, Death and the King's Horseman, Trial of Brother Jero, The Interpreters, Beautification of Area Boy, Memoirs, Poetry collections, essays, movies, translations, and many more.
What is symbolism in literature? Well, our next segment will handle that.
Symbolism. The word symbolism is derived from the Greek word symbolon, meaning token or watchword. Symbolism is a figure of speech that is used when an author wants to create a certain mood or emotion in a work. It can also be seen as the use of an object, person, situation, or word to represent something else. Metaphors and allegory are literary elements that help writers effectively create symbolism in their literary pieces. Symbolism more so means an act of attaching inner meaning to outward things. Types of symbolism: religious symbolism, socio-cultural symbolism, economic symbolism, science, arts, and political symbolisms. Religious symbolism. There are a lot of religious symbols based on different religions, to include Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and many more. Socio-cultural symbolism. This is a physical manifestation that signifies the ideology of a particular culture that merely have meaning within a culture or social group. Economic symbolism. Economic symbols are the expressions of symbols for economic purposes, for example, MasterCard, equations, and many more. Sign symbolism. This includes standard signs that have been adopted by convention to simplify the writings of numbers, formulas, and equations used in science. Art symbolism. Some art symbols include chalk, carvings, paintings, sculptures, and others. Political symbolism. This could be represented with national flags, clothing, anthems, animals, and many more. Examples of symbolism: the dove, symbolizes peace. A red rose or red color symbolizes love or romance. Black often symbolizes death or evil. A ladder, this stands as a symbol for connection between the heaven and the earth. A broken mirror often symbolizes separation. Importance of symbolism. In literature, symbolism is used to produce impact, which it accomplishes by attaching additional meaning to an action, object, or name. Symbolism helps to create emotion in a story. It is one of the most important elements in giving an artwork depth, either in colors of a painting, the metaphor in a poem, or setting of a literary piece.
For more detailed writing, I'm sure you will utilize this technique, symbolism. Well, as usual, we will leave you with a wise saying, urging you to continue to stay safe till we come your way again, same time next week. Cheers.
This vaccine is safe and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
everything music.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver.
This is Talking Movies.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder. No.
Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
It's time to use our voice.
Beyond 6 pack.
Hello and welcome to the news update at 11. I am Nolene Ebel Ame. Fire has razed about 63 shops at Tudunwada Market in Gusau, Zamfara State capital. Report says Governor Bello Muhammad has visited the scene of the fire outbreak to commiserate with the victims. We will bring you details of this in our subsequent bulletin. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the gun attack on the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, saying that the string of brutal attacks on individuals and communities in the state, with the latest one targeting the governor, are unacceptable. In a statement, the president welcomes the dispatch of a high-level team of crack investigators to the state and urged the police to uncover who or whatsoever is behind the attacks and bring them to justice. In expressing his sympathies and that of the government of the Federation to Governor Otom and the government and people of the state, President Buhari urged that this unfortunate incident must not be politicized. He further reiterated that an attack on one Nigerian is an attack on all Nigerians. The president directed the police to undertake a thorough investigation into the incident involving the governor and into all such incidents affecting individuals and communities in the state. COVID-19 infection has continued its downward trend as Nigeria records 86 new cases Sunday. In a figure released by NCDC, the new infections were from 6 states and the FCT. The FCT has the highest with 33 new infections, followed by Lagos with 28. Ondo has 11, Kano 7. Akwa Ibom and Rivers states have 3 new cases each, while Kaduna has 1 new infection. Nigeria now has 161,737 confirmed cases of COVID-19, out of which 147,899 were discharged, while 2,030 patients unfortunately died. Those are the updates for now. Join us at 1 p.m. for another update. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Good morning.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello, this is Property and Style, your one-stop shop on everything real estate. Property and Style is a real estate program coming to you from the network service of the NTA. My name is Patience Eloy Abbas. Thank you for keeping a date with us.
NTA Properties Investment Company Limited, a subsidiary of the Nigerian Television Authority, specializes in creating comfort in all areas of life, such as real estate investments, that is, land, houses, and office spaces, mass leasing, savings and loan scheme, and so much more. Other information and entertainment services include Property and Style, a TV program that airs on the network service of the NTA, and also Property Connect, a nationwide magazine. Our priority is to bridge poverty gaps and sustain quality welfare of our clients. Partner with us and watch us help you grow. Pay us a visit today at the NTA headquarters permanent site, Area 11 Gariki, Abuja, or our Lagos office at number 15 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. For more information, visit our website on www.ntaproperties.com.ng, or you can email us on ntap2000@yahoo.com. Call us on 0066417900. NTA Properties Investment Company Limited, the much-needed help at your doorstep.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we did Property and Style coming to you from the network service of the NTA. On today's episode, we'll be taking a look at the term gentrification, a very long term, isn't it? Now, what does it mean when they say an area is going to be gentrified? Well, we'll be taking a look at that. And of course, there was a special event recently, and we're there. Like we always say, if your event is special to the housing sector, then Property and Style will be there. We'll be bringing that to you and a whole lot more. Don't go away.
question of the day.
On Wednesday, 24th February 2021, the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, QSRBN, held her annual assembly of registered quantity surveyors and induction of new members at the NAF Conference Center, Abuja, with the theme Diversification as a Viable Strategy for the Quantity Surveyor. In his opening remarks, the QSRBN President, QS Mutala Aliyu, highlighted the excellence of the theme of this year's event.
I welcome you all, those physically present and those virtually present. This year's theme was specifically chosen because of the nature of the practice of the profession today. Things are moving fast. The world is dynamic. 2 years ago, we were not afraid of any pandemic that will keep us away. Today, like I said earlier on, 65% of our membership is attending online or virtually. So this is a peculiar situation. And our profession, like all other professions, is also undergoing changes. And because of that, for the profession to survive, and for us, as members of this profession to survive, we have to think ahead. While we act today, we must think tomorrow. The choice of this year's theme for the annual assembly is in reaction to the ongoing dynamics in the country, that's in Nigeria and globally, where attention is moving more towards agriculture and mining. So as quantity surveyors, what role do we expect to play in agriculture and mining? Either as investors or as professionals. So the theme this year is to agitate our minds, to see that as quantity surveyors, we're not only thinking construction, construction, construction. Our profession leads us into many things. Read about law, economics, management, accounting. We delve into so many things and we read widely. But we must not be trapped in this our wild reading or this our intellect. We must think out of the box.
The former Chief Judge of FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Bello, in his induction speech, charged the new inductees to strictly observe and work within the ethics of the profession.
I'm going to throw a challenge on the inductees to understand that you have come into a profession where you are required to rise in defense of professionalism, integrity, transparency, and all that it takes to show excellent conduct that will maintain your profession on the international map of excellence. The importance of induction in human resource development cannot be overemphasized as to acquaint young professionals with the detailed requirements of the profession, thereby integrating them in the profession's work processes with minimum difficulty. In particular, it equips professionals to serve the end users of their services in desired way, to serve the end, that is the value expectations of the end users of your professional services. This in turn increases client satisfaction through minimizing errors and unethical practices. I'm sure it is in furtherance of this that I was asked by the organizing committee to share with the inductees in the next few minutes on the topic my experiences, that is ethical conduct, professionalism, and general expectation of the professional quantity surveyors. Wherever you look at ethics in in any given profession, the issue of transparency, integrity, sense of candor is always there. We'll examine these one after the other. And one fundamental feature that I have seen, which perhaps also correlates with judicial ethics, is where the code of conduct for the quantity surveyors clearly stated that there should not be one-sided sharing of information, particularly when it comes to tenders issue, giving undue advantage to one party. That smears the integrity of the profession, indeed, the integrity of the individuals involved. Now, which correlates with the position in the judiciary that frowns seriously against ex parte communication. Because your duty primarily as a judge or magistrate is to listen to the parties impartially. And therefore, for you to be found engaged in ex parte communication with one side to the negation of the other is a very serious offense within the realm of the judicial circle. It is part of the ethics, it is part of other regulatory instruments. We went further, which I found the need to strengthen, an area to strengthen the code of ethics of the quantity surveyors, that in the judiciary, even the appearance of impropriety is punished.
The NIQS President Mohamed Abator, who was the special guest at the event, congratulated the QSRBN for such a remarkable achievement.
Let me begin by congratulating QSRBN for today inducting 240 new members into this profession. This is very, very commendable. And in congratulating and commending QSRBN, I'm also congratulating NIQS because the 240 members being inducted today actually were primed, trained, and certified by NIQS before forwarding them to you. So we have to share in the joy and glory of this very, very important day. We are planning, or we are prepared to have 2 days of examinations and interviews this year. So this is to serve a formal notice that you should revisit your projections and plans because more than 240 are coming this 2021 in spite of the pandemic, because we have learned lessons to operate within the new normal. Thank you so very much. More are coming. We have programs, examinations, and interview in May, and we shall repeat same in September. So cumulatively, you are going to attend to more numbers than the 240 that were entered to today. And part of the performance evaluation criteria of NIQS as well as that